Hey guys, what's going on? So, one big question that a lot of people ask when you're a big Disney fanatic is, have you been to both parks? Well, my answer is yes. I've been to Land and I've been to World, and in this video today, I'm ranking all 6 of the parks from my least to my most favorite one. And so I'm curious if mine match up with yours. So, let's get into this video and find out. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm focusing on just 6 today. I know some of y'all will be like, well, hey, there's more parks than that, genius. Well, unfortunately, I haven't been to the ones overseas, so I really don't feel like I can boast my opinion on that just yet. Maybe in the future I may make an updated video with all of them if I get to go overseas. But today we're solely sticking to the ones that are in the US. So that means the one down in Florida, which is World, and the one over in California, which is Disneyland, which in total has 6 parks. So let's get into that ranking. Alright, so getting into my number 6, which I kind of hate that I said least favorite. I mean, I don't have anything against this park. It's just not necessarily like if I were to be stuck at one park all day, this wouldn't be my necessarily go-to. And that is Epcot. I know. Some of y'all are like, well, wait, Epcot's like the awesomest park ever. If you don't day drink or you're not a drinker like myself, I mean, the appeal of, yeah, you got the World Showcase, you got Cosmic Rewind, which kind of gave Epcot a little bit of a boost, and you got Test Track and Frozen, but other than that, it's not really my thing. It was for a little while when Harmonious was there, which Harmonious was great. If you hadn't seen that, I'm pretty sure I got a video of when we watched it. You could watch that over on my channel, or you could probably find another one on YouTube somewhere. I mean, those ones are probably everywhere. All Disney people take videos of those nighttime shows because they're just that great. Alright, now transitioning to my number 5, which me and my wife talked about these the other day, and she's probably going to kill me that I'm actually coming out and saying that this one's not one of my most favorite ones. I feel like a lot of people give this park a lot of hate, which in my opinion, I don't think it should for what it's meant to be, and that is Animal Kingdom. Okay, yes, I know a lot of people on social media and all that say, oh, it's a half-day park, it's not even a real park, it's just a glorified zoo. I mean, say what you want, it's still a great park for what it is. I mean, it gives people an opportunity to see animals in a way different way than you normally would. Yeah, it's got that zoo aspect, but I mean, how many zoos do you know where you can get on a safari trek type ride and see them up close and see them way closer than you would at any zoo? I mean, if you take the wild African trek like me and my wife did, man, that experience is great. And I mean, there's some really cool rides. I mean, Pandora's there, you got Flight of Passage, you got the river journey there, and Pandora's really great at night. So I mean, you can't really knock it too much, but I think now with what they're slowly trying to do there, I think it may kind of change from how it was traditionally with the animal theme, because I mean, if you think about it, Tough to Be a Bug is going away and being replaced with Zootopia, which necessarily is not bad because it's still kind of in the animal realm, so that kind of works. But then you have Dino Land USA with one of the, in my opinion, greatest rides there, with Dinosaur going away and that whole area going away to make way for Tropical America, which I can see where they're trying to make that like grab of making it better, but I don't know. I feel like you're just gonna kind of lose the fact that, oh hey, I'm in Animal Kingdom, and you may end up being in Epcot, with it being taken over with the Tropical America type deal. I feel like I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for that down in the comments, but I said what I said, and come at me if you got a problem about it in the comments. All right, now transitioning into my number 4. We're still dealing down with the Florida area on this one, and that is Magic Kingdom. Yeah, I honestly feel like my number 4 spot, my number 5 spot could go back and forth. Animal and Magic can kind of bounce back and forth there, really because the fact that Magic Kingdom sometimes can feel like a ginormous, like you're a rat in a maze with the amount of people. Don't get me wrong, it's still great, and I mean it's like the main thing of when you think about Disney World. I mean, you got the castle, the coup d'etat of I think everything down there, but the amount of people that are in there at that park just seems outrageous at times, and how it's kind of set up for some places, it can feel like everybody and their brother is there, and it's really, really crowded. But like I said, that one and Animal kind of bounce back and forth between 4 and 5 spot for me, but for purposes of trying to make a firm ranking, it sits at number 4 on this video. All right, now moving into my number 3 spot on the favorite parks. We're actually moving over to California for this one, and that is actually Disneyland. And the reason why I really like this one and it sits there in that top 3 spot out of my rankings is, I mean, that's Walt's original park. If you sit there and think about it, that was his first, like, hey, I want to build an amusement park, this is what my vision is. And I feel like a lot of people give Disneyland a little bit of hate just because, I mean, if you've been to Disney World and then you go to Disneyland and look at that castle, the first thing is you're like, man, I could like flick that with my finger. Or compared to Disney World's castle, you're like, that looks like a sand castle on the beach. And I mean, yeah, it's not nearly as great if you're going to sit there and try and compare those things. But I mean, if you take a step back and you're like, hey, this is what Walt's original vision was, it kind of gives more light to the park, in my opinion. And for me, somebody who just recently went to it, and yes, I'd been to it before, but I was super, super young and really couldn't remember it, being able to go back and think, hey, like, Walt Disney actually walked these streets, he actually saw people here, and this was his main like focal point of like, hey, I want to make this park great, really stands for me why it comes in at a number 3 spot. Alright, so transitioning into my number 2, staying over there on the California side, we have that park that's on the other side of Disneyland, and that is California Adventure. Main reason for me why that one lands in my number 2 spot is Avengers Campus. Me being a super huge comic book nerd, that's the main reason in itself why it sits at that number 2 spot. You got Mission Breakout, which in my opinion I think is a little bit better than Tower of Terror, just because you got that Guardians of the Galaxy theme to it. You have Avengers Campus with web shooters and all those characters you get to meet and all the shows that happen during there. I felt so bad during our trip, and I told my wife, hey, if we ever go back, just know, like, if we get stuck in California Adventure, I'm spending the whole day or as much as I can at Avengers Campus because I love it so much. And I guess a lot of people loved it too, the fact that they're adding 2 more rides to it and making it that much bigger. But that's not the only reason why California Adventure is great. I mean, you also got Cars Land, which eventually Disney World's gonna have that because they're getting rid of the riverboat, and Tom Sawyer's Island, which it'll be interesting to see how those two kind of compare from concept art. At least from what I've seen, it's gonna be more of like a wilderness type thing, I think. Only time will tell to see how that actually turns out, but it's still going to be interesting because I mean, you still have like the racers over there and all those other rides at California Adventure, and you'll see if they bring them over here or if they just bring one of them over to Disney World. But nonetheless, I mean, you still have those two great pieces, and then you sit there and go to Pixar Pier with the Incredicoaster, which was an awesome ride. I enjoyed riding it. I wish I could have rode it a million times. And you have all those other rides there too that just make California Adventure that much more fun, and why they landed in my number 2 spot. So before I reveal my number 1 favorite park in the US, if you're still with me all the way through this video, that means you like what you see. If you'll do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and like this video, I would greatly appreciate it. I've really enjoyed making these videos the past few years, and I'm hoping to try and make more. So if you got any suggestions of videos that I could do, drop those down in the comments as well. And who knows, you may see your video on my channel in a couple months. Who knows? But before I get into that number 1, I just want to shout out a really cool company that they didn't sponsor this video. They don't even know that I made this video. But if you're like me and you go to the parks all the time and you love wearing hats, but then you see all these cool Mickey Mouse ears and you're like, yo, I want to wear those too, but you don't want to give up wearing your hat, then you want to check out this group that I recently found, and I've loved them so much, and in the future I'm looking to get in some more of them. It's called Modern Mouse, and what they do is they make these 3D printed ears, and they have a headband that you can't see that's sitting underneath my hat, and I mean, it's super minimal, but then all you do is just magnetic click, and they're there. You can walk around, you don't have to worry about them falling off. And I mean, they have so many different options. If you get tired of one and you want to change, it's, I mean, just that simple. I've seen videos where people have rode through with these on rides and all that stuff. You should really go check them out, and I actually will link a code down in the description to save you a little bit on your first order with them. Again, that's Modern Mouse. They're really great. You should go check them out. Alright, so without further ado, here is my number 1 favorite park out of all 6. And I mean, if you probably haven't already figured it out by using process of elimination, we're going back down to Florida for this number 1, and that is Hollywood Studios. Yes, that is my number 1 favorite park. If I could be stuck at one park for the rest of my life and have no problems with it whatsoever, it would be Hollywood Studios. And main reason why I think a lot of people would say, like, oh yeah, there's this ride, this ride, this ride, this ride. Yeah, the rides are really cool because I mean, you got Rise of the Resistance, Slinky Dog, Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster. For however long that's still going to be Rock and Roller Coaster until the Muppets take it over. But the real reason why Hollywood Studios is my favorite is just really the time period that park is set into. It's kind of like the early Hollywood style, where like I would say the like prime time, like Hollywood, when movies and all that stuff were a real big thing. And for me, being a big movie buff person as well, along with comics and all that, I just really enjoy like that era of like Hollywood and all the cool things that came out of it during that time. Alright, so those were my top 6 rankings of all the parks in the US. What do you think about them? Do you agree with my ranking? Do you disagree with my rankings? Do you think my reasonings for why the parks are where they are is adequate, or do you just think I'm totally bonkers? Let me know down in the comments. I love hearing everybody's opinion about it. I know everybody's opinion is different about all the parks. Like I said, again, thank you so much for staying through the end of this video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I got a bunch of videos that I'm planning on working out and making them go public. So just make sure you hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss out on it. So till next time, stay magical.